Effeminate men in East Africa before colonizers pulled up were called Muduko, Dako, and they represented a distinct pre-colonial third gender status among the Langi people in the neighboring Teso and Karunga. This is in northern Uganda, and it's important that we understand this history, the empowerment, because a lot of y'all are lost in the sauce of Western heteronormativity. Before I go any further, I'm a little country, so my Texas drawl and Southern vernacular make the enunciation of some of these words a little so I apologize if I'm butchering any of them. Now back to this pre-colonial history. The Muduko Dako were assigned male at birth, and these individuals were considered womenized men who wore women's clothes, adopted traditional female roles, and were socially and legally permitted to marry men. Before the British brought their beans and toast colonial ways to the shores of the Nile, before the word illegal was stamped on to love, we had an understanding that was more inclusive, that understood for the community. On the lands of the Langi, the Tosa, and the Karomju of the, I'm saying that wrong, Karomjun, in the northern Uganda, there existed a truth that many were taught to forget. You should really show this video to somebody that believe effeminate men in our community comes from the European. Show 'em. Now, just sprinkling some linguistic context, the term Muduko Dako translates literally to effeminate males or womanized men. And the practice was also observed in the neighboring tribes throughout northern Uganda. They were viewed as an accepted part of the community's gender and social diversity, rather than them being marginalized and rather than them being always erased. They cooked, they cleaned, they cared for children, they worked the land. Not in shame though, but in full view of the villages. It was the Europeans that brought their deviancy and marked it onto their bodies. And when they loved men, that love became marriage, legal, socially sanctioned, celebrated. Do you understand, historically speaking, a man could take a Muduko Dako as his wife and no elder raised the spear in protest? Because the Langi and some of their neighboring tribes understood that gender is not a line, but it's a landscape that we all can paint on our own canvas. A lot of scholars talk about how gender is performative, and contrary to popular belief, a lot of our ancestors believe the same thing. This is the part that's gonna piss some of y'all off. In this culture, they believe that this identity came from God, that it was innate and it was not invented. Some even participated in rituals that stimulated menstruation. And this was observed by an anthropologist by the name of Jack Drumberg. He was a European, but it happened in 1923. So fully did they embody their lived womanhood, and it had nothing to do with the way that we mark on Western identities on our bodies right now. When I first got into the conscious community as a youngster, I was told that the gay agenda in itself was an attack on the black family household, where it made me believe that the mere presence of same gender loving, effeminate man was a mere attack on my own identity, and I had to unlearn it. And I hope this video can help y'all unlearn it too. The Muduko Dako wasn't just tolerated, they were celebrated, in some instances they were even envied. A living reminder that the Creator does not make mistakes and that nature loves the variation.